Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, January 28th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. Tuesday morning's Board of Health meeting ended with an announcement that Health Director Sigal Reese will be leaving the town of Norwood. Sigal has served the town of Norwood for over 10 years.
So on Friday, I gave notice with the town. I have accepted a position as the Brookline Director of Health and Human Services. Actually not official until the select board appoints me in Brookline, but I wanted to let everybody know and the public know that I will be transitioning out of this position. I will still be here for a couple weeks, so no goodbyes yet.
We had the chance to talk to Sigal about her time here in Norwood.
Definitely a bittersweet moment. I've accepted a position as the Brookline Director of Health and Human Services, and I'll be ending my 15-year term here in Norwood in February. Goodbyes are always hard for me, but definitely want to wish everybody well. Stay safe. You're still in really good hands with the people here in Town Hall and the Health Department. It's a lot more than one person, and I've always said, especially in responding to this pandemic, that we have an amazing team here, and I expect them to just continue to provide same level of excellent service. I just appreciate all the words of support that I've already heard. I do also not live too far away, so I'm sure I'll be back and hopefully continue to see everybody and keep my connections with Norwood, because I will definitely miss the community.
Sigal, thank you so much for all you've done for the town of Norwood. You have been phenomenal. From everyone here at NCM, you will be missed, and good luck with your future endeavors. The best way to beat the winter blues is to get out and about. Stop by the Senior Center for a group game or exercise class. Here's Senior Center Director Carrie McCarthy with an exciting lineup of February activities.
In the next coming months, the few winter months that we have left, we're asking folks to keep a mask on while indoors at the Senior Center. The only time you don't have to wear a mask is when you're in the cafe enjoying a treat or a cup of coffee. But other than that, card games, bingo, walking around the center, you should keep your mask on. Exercise classes, because the room is so large and people have the ability to really social distance, if you are not comfortable wearing a mask during exercise, you do not have to wear your mask. So we had a very quiet January. We tried to scale back on any large events just to get us through the holidays. And so February, we're starting back up. And the first event we're going to have, and again, if you need the newsletter, give us a call. It can be mailed to your house for $10 a year. The first event we have is Valentine Bingo, and that's going to be sponsored by Brightview Senior Living. And that is on February 10th. Then we're having a program by APR Physical Therapy on lower back pain and sciatica. We're having a Valentine's social on Valentine's Day with the Swing Fever Trio. We'll be serving refreshments. That'll be a nice afternoon. We are also having, at the end of the month, we're going to honor the Friends of the Council on Aging. The Friends of the Council on Aging pioneers basically have retired after 20 years. They've raised over $600,000 for the Senior Center. So we're going to honor them at the end of the month with a celebration. We are also having this month on February 15th, the Middle School Building Committee, Alan Slater, will be here to present on the middle school, and the seniors will have the opportunity to ask all the questions. Another thing that's happening in February is the AARP tax preparers are returning. So this is a huge program. We're very fortunate that they come here and they do their taxes for seniors for free. The appointments are booking up, but give us a call at the Senior Center and we will be able to fit you in.
Thanks, Carrie. Be sure to download the Senior Center newsletter for February. You can find it on the town's website. The newsletter is also available by mail delivery for $10 a year. Call the Senior Center to sign up. Stay tuned after this break for more town news. Welcome back. The Norfolk County Sheriff stopped by Murph's Friday morning for a cup of coffee with Norwood's residents. This was just one stop in the Coffee with the Sheriff series.
I've been going town by town on a coffee diner tour, meeting with residents throughout Norfolk County and talking about public safety issues that is important to them. And I recognize as Sheriff of Norfolk County that each individual town is different relative to the needs of the community, and that's why I think it's important for me to be out in the community listening to people on a day-to-day basis, hearing what the needs are. I have a great partnership here in the town of Norwood with our public safety officials, our elected members of the Select Board, as well as our Council on Aging. And we're looking to have a robust programming starting up after the winter as we go into the spring, hoping to focus on senior initiatives, revitalizing our triad program, working with local schools on our peer leadership programs. I'm excited to reopen our youth leadership camp this summer. We're going to have 2 locations, one in Braintree, as well as a new site down in Franklin that we're opening up. So we're really excited about some of the programs that are going on in the Sheriff's Office, and it's great to be here in Norwood today to chat a little bit about what's going on in this great town. And I know it all too well because I used to be the aide for State Representative John Rogers back 25 years ago. So it's great to reconnect with my friends in Norwood.
For another chance to have coffee with the sheriff, follow him on Twitter at Norfolk Sheriff. Are you looking to push your limits on challenging but fun obstacle courses? Well, we now have the spot for you.
There's a new business in town, and it's all about a revolutionary new sport. The gym is called Full Send Ninja, and we were able to speak with the head coach. You may recognize it from the hit NBC series
American Ninja Warrior. Was the night's smallest competitor, the fiery Taylor Johnson. Johnson, who's only 4'11" and 104 pounds, came up with some big moments on Double Down.
During grad school, I didn't really know what to do athletically. I'd started binge watching American Ninja Warrior, and I was like watching it and I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can do this for real. So that's kind of how I got hooked. My whole life I always kind of wanted to be a coach. Once I kind of found Ninja, I was like, here I can kind of be able to kind of bring all things together. Definitely glad we chose the location, especially being right off of Route 1. I know that there's like food, hotels, there's all kinds of stuff out here. So and the Norwood community is awesome. Our associate director, Mark Antiochia, lived in New Jersey, and he moved up here and actually moved into Norwood specifically, and he even talks about how awesome it is just living here. So it's definitely a great spot to be in. We definitely just want to grow all our programs. I mean, we go as low as 5, and we're going to go lower when we can, and then you can be as old as you want and coming in here and trying stuff. There's a lot of benefit in Ninja. So like doing your other sports might not necessarily translate into Ninja, but Ninja translate into a lot of other sports. I have one of the people that we have in our adult class, he does basketball, and he found that his like shooting game has gotten so much better because his balance has gotten better.
And it's no easy task. We even had junior staff reporter Joey DeVingo try out some of the obstacles.
Here, I'm straighten her up. Oh! Yeah. You can either come in, we'll get you signed up, you can sign up online, or you can give us a call and we'll work it out with you.
Reporting for NHS Update, I'm Brooks Foley.
Thanks, Joe and Brooks. And now we're going to toss it over to Miles Kidd with the latest in school news.
Hi guys, I'm Miles Kidd, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. At the Coakley Middle School, there are a lot of after-school clubs and teams that the students have the opportunity to join. One of the fun ones that takes place at a Norwood landmark is the bowling club on Friday afternoons. Coached by bowling experts Julie Baedes and Rachel Siegel, it is a great way for students to end their week. Also at CMS, you may think this is an art room, but it's actually Christina Serratis' computer class. Glue guns in a computer class, that's very interesting. They are working on a project and we will see the final results in a future newscast. At the Balch School, the new cafeteria tables were used during a recent 4th grade music class. Students went to the Chrome Music Lab website and explored various elements of songwriting, sound, and instruments. This website is used as a tool to explore music and also make music more accessible through fun, hands-on experiments. This is a creative example of using technology in the classroom. At the Callahan School, NHS senior Maddie Berry has been helping out in Mike Downs' grade 5 class. NHS TV students are producing a story about Maddie and recently came to the classroom to shoot some scenes of Maddie in action. She helps them in writing by helping kids avoid the dreaded writer's block. She helps them complete their graphic organizers and flowcharts when it comes to the classroom. Maddie assists by writing notes on the whiteboard and distributing materials to the students. Mike Downs says she is a great addition to the Callahan School, and the students enjoy her visits. Maddie plans to major in education next year. The Cleveland School was the recipient of the Senior Center's Generosity and Talent recently. The members knitted and donated hats, scarves, and mittens for very grateful students. With all the cold weather that we've been having, these handmade gifts will keep the students warm. Also at the Cleveland, the 5th grade basketball season is kicked off at the Cleveland School as 16s compete in hopes of securing a spot in the upcoming March Madness tournament. At the Oldham School, thanks to the Norfolk County Teachers Association, Miss Lang's 4th graders get to enjoy a calming corner. Miss Lang was generously given a grant for beanbag chairs, posters, and sensory items to be used in her classroom. The students can use this area if they are feeling overwhelmed and just need to take a break. The kids are loving it, thanks to the NCTA. At the Prescott School, Miss Condon's 3rd graders had fun learning about the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They watched their favorite YouTube star, Kid President, and the charming 11-year-old told the story of Dr. King's life. He reminded us to spread love, not hate, and keep making the world more awesome. Mrs. Condon also read Doreen Rappaport's picture book biography, Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Students noticed how Rappaport weaved quotes from Martin's famous speeches into her own storytelling and then filled in a classroom anchor chart listing who Martin was, what he believed in, and what his dreams were. This prompted a classroom discussion on ways each one of us can make our community, country, and world a better place. Students finished the day by recording their ideas on I Have a Dream Cloud Mobiles. At the Little Mustangs preschool, staying active is an important part of every day, even when the weather is stormy and the temperatures are freezing. The preschoolers have plenty of indoor spaces and activities to work out their muscles and get out extra energy. Children benefit from being able to take motor breaks throughout the school day. This helps their focus and concentration for classroom tasks. Children have access to a motor room with a swing and trampolines. They can also decorate and climb in and out of boxes in the maker space. The indoor play space has ride-on toys and is a favorite place for indoor recess. All children are benefiting from sensory walking paths created by Miss Shauna, our physical therapist, and Miss Lauren, our occupational therapist. Miss Lauren's in-class occupational therapy sessions help all children to work their motor skills. Finally, touch-view screens in each classroom are great for playing interactive songs and games. Well, that's it for school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share the news with us. The Mustangs have been red hot this winter, so let's go over to Mike Maloof and get the latest in sports news. Mike?
Hello and welcome to the Sports Update. Last Friday, the MIA released its first round of basketball and hockey power rankings. And as we film today, on Friday, the latest rankings have been released. And let's just say, Norwood has had a good showing in the Division II seedings.
Boys basketball comes in at number 12 with an overall rating of 11.19. Boys hockey sits at number 4 with a rating of 2.36. Girls hockey is currently sitting at number 3 with a rating of 2.18. And girls basketball sits at the top of Division II in the number 1 seed with a rating of 19.16.
All 4 teams had big wins this week, so let's recap that action from those games and the rest of the winter sports.
Boys basketball hit the road to Dedham for a big league matchup. It was a great night defensively for Brandon Francis and Maddie Mahoney, keeping the Marauders to only 40 points. And Noah Bodette led the Mustangs in scoring with 27 points. Norwood won 50-40. Then it was back home to take on the Bellingham Blackhawks. The Stangs took an early lead and didn't look back, winning 64-34, led by Noah Bodette and Joey Steves. Boys hockey continued their winning ways with a win over Dedham 4-1 and a win over Bellingham 7-0. The game of the week for the boys was Monday when they faced off against longtime rival Walpole at the skating club. It was ALS Awareness Night as fans from both teams wore red and raised money towards this very deserving cause. Norwood's first goal of the night came from freshman Ryan Valeri as he scored his first goal of the season. Let's take a listen to this call.
Neutralize. Quick little step right there. Oh. Strong stick. Yeah. And he's able to set that one through.
As I was just going to say, Walpole started to carry the momentum, but here they are. Here it is, that goal that we were talking about.
Ryan Valeri, the freshman, number 28. Outstanding for that young man.
Norwood would go on to net 3 more, defeating the Timberwolves 4-1. Girls hockey was on the road for 3 this week, starting at Franklin on Saturday. It was a close game throughout, but Jenna Nauman put in an empty net goal and the game ended with a 4-1 final. The very next day, the girls traveled to the Canton Ice House to take on Westwood. This game proved to be the hardest of the year for the Mustangs, and after regulation, the game was still knotted at a 0-0 tie. A late penalty by the Wolverines proved to be costly, and Morgan Roach scored early in overtime to win 1-0. They finished the week against Medway Ashland and took an early 3-0 lead and held on to win 3-2. And the Division II #1 ranked girls basketball team had another stellar week this week, starting with a 62-30 win over Dedham, led by 19 points by Megan Olbrys. Then the girls shined in their biggest game of the year, taking on Division I #11 ranked Bridgewater Raynham. On paper, it was supposed to be a close game, but Norwood dominated, winning 58-25. And finally, they hit the road against Bellingham, where Megan Olbrys dropped her career-high 30 points to lead the girls to a 60-31 win. Swim had two tough opponents this week, taking on Holliston and Hopkinton. The small Mustang team swam hard, keeping both meets close. The boys lost 90-66 to Holliston and 99-60 to Hopkinton, while the girls lost 99-67 to Holliston and 102-82 to Hopkinton. They'll be in the pool Tuesday for senior night versus Westwood. Gymnastics lost a couple more heartbreakers this week, first against Norton by a score of 143.55 to 138.35, then to Medfield by a score of 138 to 134.2. Although the girls are without a win, they have been keeping every match close. 3 out of the 5 matches this year have been decided by less than 5 points. And finally, wrestling traveled out to Leominster for a dual meet between Northbridge and Leominster. The boys got the clean sweep, beating Northbridge 36-33 and Leominster 42-39.
Well, that's all for sports this week. Make sure to watch the Bulletin Board channel or follow us on social media for broadcast times. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. In government Monday night, the planning board met with a busy agenda, starting with a minor site plan review for a sign at 629 Washington Street. After a very brief discussion, the board approved this sign for the Lark Center. Next was a public hearing at 444 Walpole Street for a special permit request. The request was for a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through window. Town planner Paul Halkiotis provided a status report on this project. The second special permit request of the night was at 1210 Boston Providence Turnpike for veterinary use. The board discussed and eventually approved this request. To end the meeting, the board had 2 proposed zoning bylaw amendment public hearings regarding the March 14th town meeting. The first was to amend Section 9.8 Forbes Hill Mixed-Use Overlay District and establish a new Section 7.8 Life Sciences Development District, and the second was to amend Section 4 Floor Area Ratio in the Medical Services Overlay District. After much discussion on both topics, the board voted to recommend to town meeting. The next meeting for the planning board will be in February. The Board of Health met Tuesday morning. The board was presented the COVID-19 data dashboard, which highlights important data in and around the Norwood community. The board was also introduced to Amber Mullen, a regional epidemiologist, and Carrie McKay, regional public health associate and contact tracer. The Board of Health will meet again next month. The Board of Selectmen reconvened as light commissioners at Tuesday night's meeting. The meeting was held at the Norwood Light Department headquarters to discuss different electric broadband services offered by Norwood Light. Superintendent Kevin Shaughnessy led the presentation and first said thank you to retiring staff. The COO, Daniel Morrissey, presented a project update regarding Station 495 and answered questions from the board. Morrissey also announced new ways to view and pay your Norwood Light bills online.
So we will be the plan right now is to go live with the new billing system on March 1st. We have every intention of following through with that. As I mentioned, there'll be a web portal, and it's easily accessible through our new website that Jason will talk about a little more. It would be electric, water, and cable, broadband. So people will be able to pay their broadband bills through this web portal as well. One of the biggest things is when you pay online, there'll be no fees. It's not like now where you're in the you have to log out and basically go to Unipay and pay it. That's going away. You won't be going to Unipay. Everything will be right in that web portal, and there's no fees if you pay online.
The new billing system goes into effect on March 1st. Morrissey also announced new formatting changes to utility and broadband bills. Residents can expect to see this new look on their bills in the upcoming weeks. Assistant Electric Superintendent Jason Haber detailed new technology at Norwood Light, including the outage map and a statewide decarbonization initiative. Assistant Broadband Superintendent Daryl Hansen reviewed broadband plans and provided an update on the brand new satellite dish installed last year. The group voted to go into executive session to discuss rate details and other negotiations with Norwood Light Broadband. Wednesday night, the Community Preservation Committee met and spent the majority of their hybrid meeting hearing presentations from CPA applicants. There were 4 projects that were applied for during the meeting. The projects were as follows: Playground at the Airport, applicant Recreation Department; South Norwood Riverfront Park, applicant Conservation Commission; Pocket Park at Stearns Drive and Elliott Street, applicant Community Development Department; and Shattuck Park Improvement Study, applicant Gordon Smith and Tom Cummings. For each presentation, the board and public asked questions to the applicants. The next meeting for the Community Preservation Committee will be February 9th. Public forum letters consumed the first half hour of the school committee meeting Wednesday night. Most letters were in regards to the new school start times and the effect it could have on students of the Norwood Public Schools. Committee Chair Teresa Stewart sympathized with parents and read this letter in her addenda at the conclusion of the meeting.
In addition to the critique around childcare, I am hearing a lot of criticism that Norwood isn't prioritizing the mental health of our staff and our students. This is another field that I care deeply about and that I am professionally invested in. If you watch our meetings, you have heard me say countless times that mental health and social emotional learning absolutely need to be priorities. From the day one that I've been on this committee in April of 2017, I have always advocated for SEL. The needs of our students are rapidly increasing, and I consistently advocate that we meet them. In addition to being on the school committee, I sit on the steering committee of Impact Norwood, and I am a member of the town-wide Minds Matter Coalition. For the district, I was a member of the SEL task force that we had in 2018 and 2019. I'm currently a member on the School Health Council in this district, and as you heard me say earlier tonight, I also represent the school committee on the Sheriff's Coalition for Youth Mental Health. I don't know how to say this any more clear than to simply reiterate. I would never vote for any initiative that did not protect and support the mental health, well-being, and development of each and every student. But it's not just about me. It's about the commitment of the entire district. Our district has updated our wellness policy, and this wellness policy received accolades from DESE. Why did it receive high regard? And they said that it should be a model of the state because we included aspects around mental health and SEL that other districts don't have. We also included an additional section in our wellness policy specifically focused on staff wellness. Other districts don't have that. We might not be exactly where the policy is leading us yet, but we are trying. We have goals and high standards that we are working towards. Mental health and SEL are referenced in every single school improvement plan and in the strategic plan of the district. But it's not just words, it's action. This school committee has proven repeatedly what we advocate for and what we fund, that we will meet the needs of our students. We also collaboratively work with the Board of Health to obtain grants, to start the mental health first aid training for our staff, and to help fund the access that our entire town has to the interface referral system. This past year, NPS has brought in partnerships with McLean's Hospital and Williams James College to bring in clinicians and social workers to provide additional mental health services to our students and to our staff. The mental health system in this country is broken. It's another system that I so deeply and passionately wish that I could fix. But I can't, not alone. And it's certainly not on a public school system to be expected to fix the mental health deficit in this country. And yet, Norwood Public Schools is trying.
To hear all letters submitted to the school committee and Ms. Stewart's letter in full, watch the school committee meeting on demand or on the NCM government channel. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM government channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news. Welcome back. This weekend, Norwood and most of New England will be hit with the biggest snowstorm of the season. Mark Ryan has a reminder to residents about shoveling out your hydrants.
Norwood has 980 fire hydrants to protect the businesses and residents throughout town. TPW just does not have the resources to clear those out. We ask you to make it one of your duties is to clear a fire hydrant near your house. It's very simple, takes 5 or 10 minutes, and it'll be a big help to the neighborhood, big help to the fire department, and big help to the Norwood DPW.
Thanks, Mark. Just a reminder to residents, the town clerk's office has announced that there are 33 vacancies in each town meeting district. If you are interested in putting your name on the ballot for the first time, please file nomination papers with the town clerk. These nomination papers must be signed by at least 10 people. Any incumbent town meeting members seeking re-election should file the intent to seek re-election paperwork with the town clerk. All paperwork is due by 5 p.m. on Monday, February 14th. For additional questions, please contact Town Clerk Mary Lou Follin at 781-762-1240, extension 6026 or 6027. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.